Welcome to the third in the series of programmes that we call YouthTube, where we give the young people living here on the Costa Blanca the chance to voice their experiences of living here in Spain. In this programme we meet three members of the group called Coostics, who talk about how they met, what it's like to be a young person in a band here in Spain, and where and what they would like to be doing in the years to come. If you'd like to be involved, all you have to do is keep watching and I'll give you all the details at the end of this programme. Until then, sit back, relax and enjoy this edition of YouthTube.
What do you remember about your lives in the UK? I don't know, it was completely different. It was, I used to do ballet and stuff, but yeah.
It's a lot less freedom here, isn't there? No, back there.
Yeah, I'd reckon so. I mean, I've lived here all my life, so I don't actually know what it is like living back in the UK. But by what I've heard, it's as if in the UK you're a lot more restricted to what you can actually do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's everything back there, like 5 o'clock kind of shuts, and then everything else is, you've got lots of age restrictions. I mean, I find in Spain everything's like, the day's still alive at like midnight, so. Yeah, I've not really got much to say about that since I've been here all my life.
I just remember you'd have to, like you say, you'd have to be in at 5 o'clock because there's nothing to do for the rest of the day and you're kind of stuck just doing nothing.
Yeah. Alright. Well, after what's next?
I think I've got the next one.
Alright.
What did you think when you were first told you were moving to Spain? You can't really answer that.
I can't answer that one.
So, well, I just remember being really scared and kind of sad at the same time, you know, because I was like, oh my God. I couldn't imagine living in a foreign country, really, but I got used to it and I really like it now. So.
Well, it was my idea, actually. Yeah, well, my dad wanted to like move abroad for ages, but then he convinced me, and I convinced my mum and my sister, so yeah, I was just worried about learning the language and stuff.
So was it a strange thing to do, seeing as like you're moving away from all your friends back there?
Definitely, yeah, 100%, you know. It's
got to start over.
Yeah, a whole different life, really. I'm kind of a different person now than I was back then, so.
Describe what it was like when you first started going to school in Spain. It was hard. I didn't understand nothing, and everyone used to take the mick saying, why don't you understand me? And I was like, I've only just moved here, so.
Oh, well, I started when I was very, very, very young. I know my family have kind of been here now for about 24 years. Wow. So I actually went to the nursery school that was actually owned by my grandparents. So I did that, and then when I was like 3 or 4, I remember I went straight into Spanish school. And I'm fluent in Spanish and in English. I've got the same amount of Spanish friends that do English, so.
Fair enough.
I can't really compare it to anything, but I can't complain either.
I went straight into Alumina, so everything was practically English still, you know, so it's kind of the same really for me, just a lot smaller.
So is there any difference between like English schools and Alumina, or?
Yeah, there's fair differences. It's much more relaxed here, if you know what I mean. Back in England, there's like 200, 300 per year group, but here you've got like 30 at the most, you know, and it's a lot more fun, I would say, at the same time as being hard work, but it's good.
So do you get any Spanish people there?
Yeah, there's a few, but they all speak English, you know, because the curriculum's taught in English there, so.
Fair enough.
Did they learn English there though, or did they?
Some of them do, but some of them have it from like previous experiences, but most of them, I think, do learn it there, if you know what I mean. It's a second language.
Fair enough.
It's upside down. Describe what the first few weeks were like when you first arrived in Spain. Really scary, yeah. You can't answer that one, but yeah, just so different, you know. Didn't know anyone, didn't know what anything was, you know. Trying to find the bus was probably the worst part. They're non-existent, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there are a few, but the few times I've gone back, it's very different.
Yeah, definitely.
Whenever I've gone back to the UK and it's like you feel as if you're on holiday, I've always wondered to myself, when you move to another country, how long does it take you before you feel as if this is your home country now?
It took me a while, it really did take a while.
It still feels like a holiday now,
yeah.
actually, after 4 years, so.
It still feels like a foreign country to you?
Yeah. But I do get on with the Spanish people, and it would be good to go back and find a Spanish person and speak to them, and everybody would yeah, do you get me?
Tell us how the three of you met. Right, this I can go on for a while.
Yeah.
I first started off about almost 3 years ago in a band that fell through like the end of 2010, I think it was. It was about December back then when we were looking for a new drummer. And I remember I was speaking to one of my friends and they told me about you. They said that at the time you were 14, that you were a drummer, and that every now and again you used to go and jam with the monos down at Lansdowne, and I think it was Friday nights. I went down with the singer we had at that point, which was Michael, and we listened to you play. And I thought, for someone that's 14, well, never mind the age, just the way you played, I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Thank
so
you.
we thought we have to get you in. So we started a band called The Assigned last year. And that went on for about 6-7 months, and then our singer slash bassist ended up leaving, so we had to try and find a new bassist. We had you. So that's when we started to think like, who could we get? So we got in contact with you, and the thing I found most impressive was you came to my house. I think it was like 2 band practices, but we gave you the list of like the songs we were doing, which is about 2 hours and a bit. And you learnt the entire thing in a week. You joined us, and a week later we did our first gig down at Leeson Street, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And that was just August there, 2011. So that's this is the 6th month we're together now.
I knew you were a good bassist anyway, because I met you in a jam session in the Lansdowne.
That was a while back, wasn't it?
We played there, and we played
Seven Nation Army, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then the bass amp cut out. And then
that was embarrassing.
It was funny, and you blamed it on you, but it was good. And then when I needed a bassist, I knew to come to you straight away. So
the other thing I found quite interesting was the fact you've run into me
about
10 times in the past 2-3 years, and we had no idea
that far away from each other on several occasions.
We were speaking, and it was like, oh yeah, I was at one of your gigs like 2 years ago. And we never realised who each other was until like a month ago.
Before I played an instrument, so I wouldn't have even thought to like go and speak to a band about it. So I was like, we could have met thousands of times, but just never had. So
yeah, but now it's just kind of the 3 of us, like brilliant mates, and just get along as if we've known each other for ages. Yeah. So.
Do you think you would have had this opportunity back in the UK?
No, definitely
not at all.
Oh, I can't really answer that. I thought we could have still met.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the actual fact of playing,
it's a different. The music scene
young
is so different.
Young bands can't really
back
play in bars in England. They don't allow it because of the age and everything. I prefer playing here anyway because you get the holiday makers who come out and enjoy themselves more and stuff.
You get a good variety between English and Spanish.
Yeah, definitely.
The Spanish are good fans of rock music as well.
In the summer, you're always guaranteed a good crowd because there's so many people about just wanting to go out, So.
The other thing that's good about Spain is Spanish people actually really, really, really like English music.
Yeah, rock music especially.
Whereas if you went to the UK to play Spanish songs,
they would be like, what?
Be as successful. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Tell us about some of the differences between your life in the UK and here in Spain.
I really enjoy it, and I'm actually kind of looking to maybe go there to study music or that one day as well. So when I go back, it's a different kind of feeling. I remember the first time I ever went back to Scotland, because I'd always lived in Spain, I thought it's going to seem like a completely different place. But when I got back and I found people were speaking the language I was speaking, the accent I had and everything, it still has a sense of feeling as if it was home.
Yeah.
Because it was like more people like me. And when you come over here, you go into a restaurant or a bar and they'll attend to you in Spanish. But I do quite like going back there, yeah.
Do you have family there?
I've got a few family, yeah. I've got a cousin, 2 aunties and an uncle, and a gran. My other grandparents live here in Spain, so it's like half and half. I've also got an uncle up in Catalonia as well, so a bit all over the place.
Did your parents and your grandparents decide to move here together, or?
My grandparents actually, I think, moved here about 25, 26 years ago or something like that, I think. And they actually started a bar up in Marathul.
Oh yeah.
And that's when my mum decided that she was going to come over as well. And I think she came over and I think she helped in the bar a little bit, and then she went to do her own job. And my dad came over and they got married here, and my life's been in Spain since.
So if you'd had the option, if your mum hadn't come to Spain when your grandparents had opened the bar, would you have wanted to stay in England or come here if you'd had the choice?
If she'd stayed in the UK, I don't really know, because I've never actually lived in the UK to know what it is like.
Yeah.
But I quite like Spain as it is, but I also like the UK. It's like two different places to compare.
Would you move back though if you had the choice?
I guess so, yeah, I could do. It's not that I don't like living here. I mean, I love living in Spain for lots of reasons, down to weather, just the way people are in general, like a different and a nice atmosphere. But then again, I love the excitement you get back in the UK.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah.
It's like a lot more active, whereas here it's like a nice and chilled out kind of place.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think, though, to progress your music career, you need to be in England, in the UK?
To a certain extent, yeah.
I'd agree with that.
I would agree. I mean, you can start up and you can get to a certain level here, but I always find that if you did want to do anything in the music industry, you kind of need to go to the places where music's demanded, which is either like America.
It is demanded around here, but not in the kind of extent to a 6-album deal, if you know what I mean, or anything like that.
It's demanding here in the sense of
Pop
going
bands.
around the pop bands and entertainment around here. But if you're wanting to make it big, or if you're wanting to do something, like if you want to go into composing, if you want to go into writing stuff for other people, or performing in big stages, or being even session musicians, you'd need to go back to the UK, undoubtedly.
What are some of the things you and your friends discuss about living in Spain? How different it is, really.
Yeah.
We've already gone through. I don't know. I prefer it here, and they say it's more. You can do more things. Like we wouldn't get to play in bars in England.
No, not at all.
So.
But your friends in general, are they happy with their life in Spain? Do they see a future here in
Most
Spain?
of them, but a lot of them have moved back because it's hard to get work.
That's one
most
thing you
people have to
find
be
around
Spanish.
here is so many people just come and go. If you know what I mean, like you'll know someone one week and then they'll be back the next. You know, not a lot of people see this as a permanent place to stay. If you know what I mean, I don't think.
Most of them is like, I'm here till I'm 16 or 18, then I'm going back.
Yeah,
going back again.
That's exactly what it's like.
It's kind of the idea I think most of them have.
Everyone disappears.
Yeah, it's a place that it's like a. I always imagine it's like a train station or an airport. You get new people coming in all the time and people you know leaving.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that respect, I find it a bit like that.
So most of your friends don't see a future here in Spain?
I'd say most of them probably not. No. I mean,
I think they do want to move back or move to different countries. Like I think I know someone who wants to go to Australia and stuff. So.
Down to my Spanish friends, most of them, they want to stay here because I find Spanish people in general, I think, they're quite happy being where they are. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you can go to some places, like if you went to America, half of the population there would probably like, oh, I want to travel here, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I find in Spain, they're very happy staying where they are. I mean, I've got friends that haven't gone much further away than Elche.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've been here all their life and they're like 16 or 17. Whereas like people that we know have kind of been all over the place.
Yeah.